Hunzinger sets it up to Beeson. Bring in the hammer. Oh, heck yes. With the screen, Emily Luce. Now the right corner, Megan Luce for three. Tickles the twine. Yes. Right there at the left side elbow, cross-court pass. Bell's right corner three is up. And good. Camden Bell from downtown. And fly ball there in the left field. The left fielder will miss the ball. Camden Gibson at third base. And that's going to be a high fly ball there into deep left center field and down near the wall. So Estep there with an RBI double. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network here on YouTube.com, here with our 2025 Delaware County Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament Preview Show here tonight. Again, as always, I'm play-by-play broadcaster Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me, cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. And it'll be interesting, you know, obviously with the county tournament starting up this week, boys and girls playing very good basketball right now, but you get this time of the year, anything's possible. And Wapahani, thankfully, to this point, for both boys and girls, have gotten off to an outstanding start. Girls are 15-2 on the season. Boys are at 10-0. So definitely a lot of positivity and confidence going in the right direction right here, hopefully towards this county tournament, and what will hopefully be a successful week here for the Lady Raiders and the Raider boys basketball team here throughout the week. So we're going to start things off here with the girls basketball tournament. That actually starts tonight. Wapahani got the first round bye, in which we're gonna show things, or show this bracket here to all you fine folks out there in Raider country. So it looks like this: Westdale and Delta will open up the 2025 Delaware County Girls Basketball Tournament, like I mentioned, tonight at Yorktown High School. The first two rounds are at Yorktown. The championship game will be at Delta on Saturday night at 6 p.m. But again, the first round matchup, the Westdale Lady Warriors taking on the Delta Lady Eagles at 6 p.m. Following that one will be the Cowan Blackhawks taking on the Daleville Lady Broncos. That'll be a 7:30 start time. The winner of the Westdale and Delta matchup tonight will then take on the Yorktown Tigers. That will be on Thursday evening. That will be the first game of the night there at 6 p.m. Following that will be Wapahani taking on the winner of Cowan and Daleville at 7:30 there on Thursday night. Then, like I mentioned, all of this culminating at the end right here with the championship game being played on Saturday night, the 18th of January, 6 p.m. start time there for the championship game, like I mentioned, at Delta High School. So that's what it looks like there for the bracket. I got to be honest with you, I did not have time to break down all of the girls' teams. What I do know is Wapahani has beaten every single one of them so far. Now, does that have any indication on how the county tournament will go? Not necessarily, because as I just mentioned, you know, you get to the county tournament, or even, you know, when you get into state tournament play, it's one and done. You know, so we lose, we're out of the county tournament, and so you can't take your eye off the prize. We've got to make sure and stay disciplined, and not to mention the fact that we've got to continue to play to our strengths. You know, we've had a really nice inside game this year, obviously with Kimber Abshire, but then our three-point shooting and our guard presence has really benefited greatly this year. You know, with Emily Luce really doing some great things. Judy Dargo, senior guard here for the Raiders, has done an excellent job. Megan Luce. Bailey Carpenter has really been a nice piece there on the inside. You know, you have her and Kimber, and then Haley Bivens as well. And other girls coming off the bench, Zoe Koger has really played some very valuable minutes, especially here of late. Has really contributed a great deal of amount. Ava Cook. You know, you have Natalie Mann as well as Carly Hageman. You know, just to name a few more that I think can be very valuable pieces once the county tournament starts. You know, so when their name is called, they know they have to come in and take care of business and play the game the way it should be played in order for them to be successful. So we're really looking forward to really seeing what the Raiders will do coming up there Thursday night. Again, awaiting the winner of Cowan and Daleville there on Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. again from Yorktown High School. So Another thing I do want to mention before we talk about the boys basketball tournament. One big key here for the Raiders, I think, that above all the teams that kind of sets them apart is how disciplined they are as a group. When I watch these ladies, they come out here, they play the game the right way, and I think as the season has went along, you're starting to see more and more of these girls contribute and live up to the standards that they set for themselves. When you're able to bring in, a nice piece there to your post there with Kimber Abshear, and then everybody else is kind of, mold together around her. I think it's really been, she's been a valuable asset, but not only her, and I don't want to single any one player out, but, the way that these girls have really came together and, sure, they've had some hiccups here or there, but really they've played very consistent basketball. And you can see the confidence that they have out there on the floor every single time they're out there playing. We've seen it last week. You had a game there on the road at Eastbrook. Then you had another, what I thought was a pretty tough game there against Newcastle last Thursday night, in which the Raiders won that by 15 points. That Newcastle team, a young core that they have coming up, very talented, that I thought we played very well, against those girls. But, we see time and time and again, our girls playing hard, playing the right way, and sticking together. And we see that a lot with our boys basketball team as well. Very unselfish style of play, and that really sets us apart from a lot of these other teams, especially when it comes to county tournament time. So really looking forward to watching the Lady Raiders coming up there on Thursday night. So now, switching gears now over to the boys basketball side of the county tournament. We will take a look now at the bracket. So it will look like this. Well, it's going to be Delta and Wapahoney right out of the gate. You want to talk about a championship kind of format right there with those two teams going toe-to-toe in the opening round tomorrow night. They're on Wednesday, January the 15th of 2025, 6 p.m. start time there for that one. Following that will be Yorktown and Westdale. That will be at 7:30. The winner of Delta and Wapahoney, they will take on Daleville on Friday night. That is January the 17th, 6 p.m. start time again there. As well as then the Yorktown Westdale winner will face Cowan. And the second game there on Friday night, there at 7:30 p.m. Then with the championship game being played at 8 p.m. on Saturday evening. Again, all Delaware County boys basketball tournament action will be held at Delta High School. So that's where you can see us. As I have not mentioned yet, we're going to get to broadcast the boys and girls basketball tournaments this year. We've done it in previous years, especially probably like the last 2 or 3 years here. We've been able to broadcast those, and then previous to that, we had a little bit of a hiatus right there. We weren't allowed to broadcast it. When we first started out 14 years ago, we did it for the first 3 or 4 years, and then things just kind of got shut down there for us. So it'll be nice to be back out there and broadcast the girls and boys basketball teams and hopefully root them on the victory and be able to bring all of you guys the action out there in Raider country. So we will take a look here at the boys basketball teams. Again, the girls basketball teams, again, I didn't necessarily get through all of them. Again, we'll have more of those stats coming up there on Thursday night for our broadcast, but I had some of those teams that didn't even have any stats at all. They had nothing. We get our stats from Max Preps and John Harrell. That's where we get all of our statistics and information from. So, with some of those teams not having it, made things a little bit more difficult. That's why I didn't go ahead and finish up there on the girls' stats. But again, we'll have those coming up for you there on Thursday night. But the boys basketball stats here for each team, we're going to start off here with the top part of the bracket. Here with your Wapahoney Raiders. Again, we'll just go over team stats here for Wapahoney, not going over player stats. With the team stats here, the Raiders averaging 61.2 points a game, allowing 41 points. Field goal percentage here of 52%, or 222, 424. From beyond a three-point line, 129 of 256, 50% from behind the three-point line. That is an astonishing number. Then following up with that, from the free throw line, 36 of 43, 84%. So those stats alone right there, quite the winning recipe for success and why the Raiders are off to a 10-0 start. Here's some others to take mention of here. Rebounds a game, 22.3, 15.3 assists, also 6.5 steals, and 6.3 turnovers a game. So important to recognize that stat, because you're not giving away the basketball. You're not giving away possessions. You're making good of the opportunities that you have. And believe me, we have our fair share of takeaways as well. So, we're doing everything that we've got to do to take care of business and to win ball games. And that's why we've seen the success that we've had so far here from your Wapahoney Raider boys basketball team. Not to mention the fact, like I had talked about there with the girls team, very unselfish, and it's so much fun to watch and be a part of, and how these guys conduct business out there on the floor. So really excited to see them coming up there tomorrow night. Our opponents, the Delta Eagles, coming into tomorrow night's ball game at 9-2. They're actually coming off of a loss, but they've had a great start to the season once again this year. On offense, averaging 51 points a game, allowing 45.4. They're 47% from the field, 180 of 386. Also 34% from beyond the three-point line, 61 of 178, and 52 of 90, 58% from the charity stripe, or better known as the free throw line. They average 18.2 points a game, 9.7 assists, 7.1 steals, and 9.4 turnovers a game. That's also a pretty darn good number right there if you're Delta. If you can keep that number under 10, you're going to give yourself a pretty good chance to win ball games, as long as you've got some talent, obviously, out there on the floor as well. Key players to watch for here for Delta, first and foremost, Jordan Fernie, averaging 14.2 points a game, 3.9 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 2.4 steals. He's 47% from the field, 61 of 131, 11 of 29, 38% from downtown, and then 9 of 21, 43% from the free throw line. Next is Lucas Bragg, 11.2 points per game, 2.7 rebounds. He is 40 of 79, 51% from the field, and their best three-point shooter on the season, 24 of 55, good for 44%, and then 8 of 9, 89% from the free throw line. There is Lucas Bragg. Then our last two here, we have Mr. Bronson Edwards, averaging 10.1 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, as well as 2.1 assists and 2 steals a game. 41 of 72, good for 57% there from the field. He's also 10 of 30 from downtown, good for 33%. And then lastly here, we have 60% here from the free throw line, 9 of 15. There's Bronson Edwards. And then lastly, we have Chase Ritchie, 5.1 points a game, 2.7 rebounds. He's 58% from the field, 19 of 33, not much of a three-point shooter, standing in at 1 of 5, good for 20%. And then 12 of 18, 67% there from the free throw line. There's Chase Ritchie. So again, players to watch for, Jordan Fernie as well as Lucas Bragg, Bronson Edwards, and Chase Ritchie there for the Delta Eagles coming up there tomorrow night. Again, Wapahoney 10-0, Delta 9-2. Should be a great showdown there between those two teams. Again, the team awaiting the winner of those two teams is the Daleville Broncos. They will be coming in there to the county tournament with a record of 2-6. Points per game on offense, 52.9, but they allow 60.3 from the field. They're 34%, 157 of 460. 63 of 254, good for 25% from behind the three-point line, and 44 of 70, good for 63% at the free throw line. Rebounding, that's at 25 rebounds a game, 12.3 assists, as well as 9.8 steals, and a rate of 12.9 turnovers per game there for the Daleville Broncos. Again, players to watch for here for Daleville. We've got Hunter Suchna, young man coming in, averaging 16 points a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3.5 steals a game. Now, with that being said, that's only 2 games. They've played 8 games. So these last 2 games he has been in action. So that's why I went ahead and put him down there on the list to watch for. Could be a potential threat there for Wapahani or for Delta there in the semifinal round there on Friday night. Next up here we have Noah Colvin, averaging 12.9 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5.8 assists, and 3.1 steals. Next is Cooper Sexton at 9 points per game as well as 4.3 rebounds per game. And then lastly here we have Josh Wilson, 8.4 points per game and 4.3 rebounds. Again, that's the 2-6 Daleville Broncos. Again, Wapahani, Delta will go toe-to-toe tomorrow night. And the first game of the evening there at 6 p.m. from Delta High School. Again, the winner of that will take on Daleville there on Friday night at 6 p.m. So now I'll send things on over here to Redbeard. So he's going to break down things there for Yorktown and Westdale. That's in the bottom part of the bracket. And then the team that's awaiting those one of those winners, that's going to be the Cowan Blackhawks. So Redbeard, go ahead and take it away.
All right, thanks, Marv. Yeah, we'll start with the Yorktown Tigers. They come in with a record of 3-7 on the year. Team stats, they average 50.6 points per game and give up 56.5 points per game. They're 171 of 387, good for 44% from the field. From downtown, they're 57 of 185, good for 31%. From the free throw line, they're 47 of 83, good for 57%. They get 18.2 rebounds per game, 10 assists per game, 5.8 steals per game, and 11.6 turnovers per game. Some players to watch for. First, we have Austin Cates, 9.8 points per game, 2 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game. Next, we have Ephraim Daughtery. He has 9 points per game and 2 rebounds per game. Then we have Mason Trammell. He has 9 points per game and 1.5 rebounds per game. Then we have Jabin Barnes, 7.4 points per game and 4.2 rebounds per game. And finally, we have Connor Roway, 6.3 points per game and 3.6 rebounds per game. Next, we have the Westdale Warriors. They come in with a record of 5-5 on the year. They average 58.1 points per game while giving up 55.4 points per game. From the field, they're 223 of 493, good for 45%. From downtown, they're 55 of 165, good for 33%. From the free throw line, they're 80 of 136, good for 59%. They get 27 rebounds per game, 11.2 assists per game, 6.8 steals per game, and 13 turnovers per game. Some players to watch for. First, we have Josiah Love, 25.3 points per game and 4.5 rebounds per game. We have Julian Carpenter, 11.9 points per game, 5.1 rebounds per game, and 2.9 assists per game. And finally, we have Gabriel Becerra, 8.3 points per game, 4.2 rebounds per game, and 3.1 assists per game. And finally, we have the Cowan Blackhawks, who come in with a record of 0-10 on the year. They average 40 points per game while giving up 67.1 points per game. From the field, they're 139 of 376, good for 37%. From downtown, they're 48 of 169, good for 29%. From the free throw line, they're 53 of 89, good for 60%. They get 22 rebounds per game, 11 assists per game, 6 steals per game, and turn the ball over 21.2 times a game. Some players to watch for. First, we have Luke Garrett, 10.8 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and 2 assists per game. Next, we have Brody Clifford, 10.7 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, and 2 assists per game. Next, we have Lucas Terrell, 5.9 points per game, 2.4 rebounds per game, and 2 assists per game. And finally, we have Gentry Groves, 4.1 points per game and 4.8 rebounds per game.
All right. So, again, that is the Yorktown Tigers as well as the Westdale Warriors and the Cowan Blackhawks. That is, again, the bottom part of the bracket there for the boys basketball Delaware County tournament there at Delta High School. Again, Wapahani and Delta coming up there tomorrow night, 6 p.m. start time there for that one, followed by Yorktown and Westdale there at 7:30. Again, you can catch all the action live right here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network, with anything Wapahani. So we'll be, again, covering the boys basketball tournament all throughout the week. You know, however far Wapahani goes is however far we go. Same thing with the Lady Raider basketball team coming up there on Thursday night, a big game right there. They win, we move on to Saturday night, and I guarantee it, we'll be right there broadcasting for all you fine folks out there. Again, you know, weather permitting, heck, we've had snow for days, it seems like, out here in Raider country, but hopefully that won't be the case coming up this weekend. So really looking forward to spending some evenings here with you all fine folks and broadcast some basketball and continue to showcase our awesome student athletes out here at Wapahani. So we hope you guys tune in. Again, this has been our 2025 Delaware County Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament Preview Show here tonight. Again, we'll see you all back here tomorrow night, Wapahani and Delta, in the opening round of the Boys Basketball County Tournament. Until then, I'm Brandon Morvillius alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. We'll see you all next time here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.